Ben Simmons has been given a surprise MVP nod by an NBA media member, as he continues to impress in his extraordinary rookie season. The Philadelphia 76ers point guard was handed a lone yet remarkable vote in an MVP survey carried out by the Washington Post's Tim Bontemps, a quarter of the way through the season. The survey asked 105 NBA media members for 5 votes, as are cast in the actual MVP ballot, with Simmons one of just 17 players to poll. He received one fourth-place vote, putting him 16th ahead of DeMarcus Cousins, while Sixers teammate Joel Embiid polled a no. Nine with a fourth-place vote and 7 fifth-place nods. Houston Rockets superstar James Harden was the poll winner, ahead of Cleveland's 4-time winner LeBron James and Boston's Kyrie Irving. Full results here. Simmons is averaging 18 points, 9.3 rebounds, 7.1 assists and 2.3 steals per game. Commenting on the poll for Philly Voice, Kyle Neubeck wrote that it was impressive to see Simmons and Embiid rate a mention. It is a small token and a measure of just a portion of the season, yet impressive all the same. A first-year player and a guy who has admitted he has probably played less than 100 total basketball games in his life are factoring into MVP debates amongst people who decide on these awards, Neubeck wrote. I doubt you'll see Simmons stick around in a list like this because the learning curve for a rookie is just too high. Keep an eye on Embiid, though. I don't think it's totally crazy for him to sneak into the top 5 at year's end with a dominant two-way season. Simmons remains the runaway favorite for the Rookie of the Year award and as such, is commanding huge attention in the US media. Writing for Sporting News, US, Sean Devaney had an Eastern Conference scout observe a week's worth of Simmons' performances and offer his thoughts. The majority were positive, though the scout did believe that the Big Aussie's defense was overrated. Remarking on a play against the Cavaliers where Simmons was unable to contain LeBron James in a pick-and-roll situation, the scout said, "I think people are overrating his defense based on his physical gifts. He has good defensive instincts and he is able to deflect a lot of balls because of his length. But he is young, he is learning and the net result is he is probably an average defender, with the potential to be great. He gets caught out of position a lot, you saw that a lot against Cleveland." Yet remarking on a play where he put a post move on Washington's Ian Mahinmi for a dunk, the scout praised Simmons' quickness, agility and instincts. He has a gift when it comes to post-up moves, an instinct. A lot of young big guys, you spend a couple of years to teach them the moves and counter moves he has in the post. Whatever happens with his perimeter game, he is going to be an effective player just for how he handles his footwork. Writing for The Atlantic, Robert O'Connell said the process, repeat years tanking for draft picks, had paid off for Philadelphia with Simmons and Embiid in the team, saying they could become a championship contending tandem. Simmons, a 6'10" Australian selected 2 years later, has, with his tall build and keen vision, already invited comparisons as flattering as Magic Johnson and LeBron James, O'Connell wrote. Simmons lacks a jump shot at the moment, which in other players might be a glaring deficiency, but the limitation only emphasizes his gifts for other facets of the game. He soars in for dunks, flicks precognitive passes, and finishes with either hand anywhere near the rim. O'Connell also addressed the challenging dynamics of superstar duos throughout NBA history, noting the potential for personality clashes. At this admittedly early juncture, Philadelphia's stars seem more likely to flourish, long-term, than to lapse into friction. Their skill sets offer reason for optimism, where Durant and Westbrook both preferred to have the ball in their hands. Simmons and Embiid have a naturally symbiotic on-court relationship. The former initiates the offense but cares little about who in particular scores. The latter can finish open opportunities and, when things bog down, improvise near the rim. They already run pick and rolls like they've been teammates for a half-decade. Their admiration, too, is mutual and extensive. Thonmaker's gradual development as a legitimate NBA force is pushing the Milwaukee Bucks into experimenting with superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo as center. Writing for the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, Matt Velazquez noted that a poor shooting outing from Maker forced another instance this week. Through nearly 30 minutes Monday night, it was clear the Milwaukee Bucks weren't going to get much out of their centers. John Henson and Thonmaker had combined for 0 points on 0 of 10 shooting while grabbing 4 rebounds and doing little to inhibit the Boston Celtics' offensive attack, Velazquez wrote. With that in mind, Bucks coach Jason Kidd turned to something different. With 6:31 left in the third quarter and Milwaukee trailing by 15 points, he sent out a lineup featuring Giannis Antetokounmpo as center with the 22-year-old, position-defying star surrounded by Eric Bledsoe, Malcolm Brogdon, Tony Snell, and Chris Middleton. The result? In a game Milwaukee lost by 11 points, that lineup finished +5 and all combinations with the Greek Freak at center were +2. Daily trade chatter. Matthew Dellavedova has again been named as a potential trade piece for the Milwaukee Bucks, who have been touted as a contender for Clippers center DeAndre Jordan. Writing for HoopsHype.com, Brian Kalibrowski noted that Jordan had recently signed with agent Jeff Schwartz, who also represents Bucks wing Chris Middleton and center Mirza Teletovic, perhaps making it less likely that those two players are dealt. He put forward a different scenario, albeit one that would deal both of Milwaukee's backup point guards in 2017 Rookie of the Year Malcolm Brogdon and Aussie Dellavedova. CBS Sports recently speculated that Milwaukee could offer John, Henson, Brogdon and Teletovic to the Clippers. But now that Jordan shares an agent with Middleton and Teletovic, it could change what that means for a deal between the two parties, Kalbrowski wrote. Perhaps a deal that would make more sense is Brogdon and Henson packaged with Matthew Dellavedova. Mills vs singles San Antonio Spurs guard Patty Mills, or Utah Jazz small forward Joe Ingles, who loves their team more. Patty reckons him.